下面有请 DrixPay 联合创始人 CEO 本杰明先生上台为我们介绍 DrixPay， 掌声有请。
Thank you, everyone. Before we begin, I need to be a little bit straightforward. There's some content that has been changed frequently in this PowerPoint. You have the Chinese version here, the English version is here. And there's some content we didn't put in this PowerPoint. However, we will be able to reveal that content later this year at our DrixPay launch party. So, who am I? I am Ben, the co-founder of DrixPay. I have 10 years of Bitcoin mining experience, mostly in West Texas, in the Permian Basin, in the very countryside area of Texas that very few people live, but there's an abundance of cheap energy. To start today's speech, I would like to give you all a quote. Beneath the still water lies secure order. Amidst the flow resides the power of wealth. Many people are wondering, why build DrixPay? And in all honesty, there's three main reasons. There's regulatory ambiguity from domain to domain, among country to a different country, territory to a different territory. What's legal in one territory is not legal in another territory. Another reason is because of asset security or lack of asset security. And finally, liquidity. Some exchanges, most notably FTX in late 2022, we all know about this, went bust because they did not have the user funds that they should have had in the very beginning. Now, I did say that this is three issues, but in reality, this is more like one. The one issue is the lack of a platform that can provide liquidity, fulfilling compliance, and top-tier security. And that's where DrixPay comes into play. So a little bit about us. We started in Denver, Colorado in 2022. And our goal overall is to build a financial ecosystem worldwide that enables the seamless flow of assets from point A to point B, regardless of geography. And speaking of geography, for just a moment, it would be nice to just mention that we already have an office in Hong Kong, and we have others planned for later this year, including in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, France, and Japan. Sorry, over the next 5 years, not the next year. But to add to that, we will also build other offices as necessary globally, worldwide. Here is a comprehensive timeline for everything that we have accomplished at DrixPay from 2022 all the way until now. To keep things simple, what we have, at least in the beginning in 2022, was project ideation. We came up with what the vision for DrixPay would be, the problems that it would solve, and the use cases that it would fulfill. Later that year, we also started collaborating with hardware wallet manufacturers, cryptocurrency users worldwide, both institutional and individual, might encounter. And we aim to reduce friction in that area. In 2023, we also started working hard on trying to gather as many payment industry compliant certifications as we could, both for our personnel and for our business. In 2024, we had finally acquired a Visa BIN authorization, which allowed us to issue our own credit cards and payment cards. And in 2025, that's where the real fun began. We have secured seed funding of $200 million to the DrixPay Fund. And we still have millions more to follow, and we've attracted the attention of a top-tier exchange. Of course, we can talk about that later. Continuing on, what we probably want to mention here is this would be the line of industry trends and the markets that we are trying to break into. And these are just some numbers. We have about $150 trillion of global payments, both, let's say, institutions and individual people sending money cross borders, as well as 500 million Web3 users worldwide. That creates a very large ecosystem, a very large target audience that we can try to solicit our services to. And the RWA asset class, in and of itself, according to the Boston Consulting Group, is predicted to be as high as 16 trillion US dollars in the next few years. And we also want to do what we can to facilitate and remove barriers to investing for everyone who may be interested in RWAs. One very interesting statistic that comes up is that in Southeast Asia, year on year, we see a growth of payments in this particular geography, and it's definitely not slowing down anytime soon. So these 4 areas are the markets that we aim to capture over the next few years with DrixPay. So what powers DrixPay? That would definitely be Fusion. Fusion is a blockchain, and it's next generation in nature. Its primary function is to facilitate very fast settlement, scalability, and compliance. It is built to be the engine if DrixPay was to be described as a motor vehicle, an airplane, or a rocket. It features financial grade architecture. We take compliance, security, and scalability as the prime reason for building the platform and the application the way it is. It's also RWA centric for its position in the market, and is also capable of everything that a core decentralized exchange would be capable of in 2025. It follows PayFi innovations. That is to say, it integrates payments and finances to enable scenarios such as on-chain payment terms, as well as credit-based payments and multi-asset payments. The possibilities of using DrixPay for PayFi, only the sky is the limit when it comes to the human imagination. But of course, we're also leveraging AI to focus on risk control. We'll get into some examples later, but the long story short is AI will be able to perform simple, mathematical, logical operations to determine whether a user is being compliant or needs to be stopped with the DrixPay platform. And this is where we introduce Still Protocol. Still Protocol goes hand in hand with our in-house AI solution. It is the on-chain information and penetration traceability factory of our application. It enables end-to-end on-chain tracking for everything that you can imagine to do with user addresses and asset flows. It's also a risk assessment and risk control authorization. In short, if a user is trying to engage in leverage trading that is far beyond their own asset balance in the application, Still Protocol, in combination with our in-house AI suite of tools, will shut down that user appropriately. Likewise, it will also excel or help users excel in whatever investments they want to engage in with DrixPay, so long as they are compliant and playing by the rules. We also have a credit system construction, and that is the beauty of this. You can build your credit from zero using crypto assets if you're in a developing country and you want to work with DrixPay. There's also asset ownership, verification, and real-time supervision and compliance interfaces. All of this is to say that all of the information that regulators might want to see or financial authorities might want to see is available using the interface with DrixPay. Now let's get a look at our technical architecture. This is composed of 5 layers. 5. At the top, we've got the cloud layer, which is AI assisted and uses maintenance in tandem with AWS. Then we have the node layer, which is the Web3 mainnet and a multi-chain, cross-chain system. We also have the smart contract layer, which uses RWA contracts and secure contract verification, followed by risk control layer. The risk control layer, as I said before, is our suite of tools using AI that shuts down any illicit activities or helps users that are legitimate and trying to play by the rules excel. And last but not least, we have the application layer at the bottom, which everyone will have access to simply by downloading the application to their mobile device. We also have, just to touch up on this briefly, a cold wallet, hot wallet operating mechanism. In the interest of compliance as well as keeping users' funds safe, we'll keep a small balance of user funds in hot wallets. And then we can automatically move these funds between the cold wallets and the hot wallets leveraging AI. I really want to speak more on this, but we are a bit short of time. And following up is DrixPay's ecological positioning. We are all four of these: a payment hub, a compliant trading hub, an asset management platform, and a social and governance entity. The 5 major core functions of DrixPay are as follows: trading, payments, as is its namesake, cloud computing, power airdrops, social system, and asset management. We'll get into each of these just a little bit more, and we'll start here with transactions, one of the 5 major core functions of DrixPay. This enables multi-market access with low latency matching engines. If you guys remember me mentioning Fusion powers settlement in under 5 milliseconds. It also does multi-currency clearing. So regardless of whether a user is using Hong Kong dollars, Singapore dollars, or stablecoins such as USDT or USDC, clearance will engage appropriately. We also have risk control mechanisms, like I said before, with the Still protocol and AI protocols that do their appropriate work to fix any issues a user may encounter. And of course, we also have the payment system, which is the namesake of DrixPay. You can do payments cross borders using on-chain credit cards or simply sending funds from point A to point B from one country to another. You also have a multi-asset account system followed by AI payment risk control. So we also have a social system. With a DAO governance platform, we encourage users to participate in using DrixPay. We also encourage further stickiness of the application by doing this. If users believe that they have a stake in what the platform has to offer, then they are more likely to come back. And in the interest of time, I'm going to have to kind of zip through the rest of what we have. Of course, these are all of the other things that we have to offer when it comes to asset management. Here is what we have to offer in terms of the ecological overview. In a nutshell, you can look at this and say that Fusion powers the base layer, TET is going to bring in users, and DrixPay will be the suite of tools that all of the users that we bring in will have access to. When it comes to data security and achievements, we are of course going to be ISO 27001 as well as SOC 2 compliant. So in closing, our goals for the next 5 years are as follows: to establish 5 regional nodes, 5 regional hubs in the Americas, Asia Pacific, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. We also plan to build a 1 million user base, and we hope we can break $1 billion in trading volume through the platform, or $1 billion in total user funds on the platform. And finally, last but not least, we hope that we can construct a closed-loop compliant financial network integrating DEXs and RWAs. As I said at the beginning of this speech, and as I plan to conclude with this speech, beneath the still water lies secure order, and amidst flow resides the power of wealth. Thank you, everyone.
好的，谢谢，感谢本杰明先生的精彩分享。